Hi, it's Sayward. Today is. Come here. Come here. You want to be on TV too? You want to be on TV? Today is Monday, July 15th. And we are talking about tarot. So today's card is number 4. It is the Emperor. There we see him seated upon his throne. You'll notice that the armrests of this card are ram's heads, and the zodiac affinity with the Emperor is actually Aries. So if this card comes up and it's representative of a person, probably an Arian. Also correlates with the Hebrew letter He, and has a key number of 15. This, when it comes up in other decks, in English decks particularly, it shows up as the window. So the Emperor is a card that I wanted to talk about today specifically because it's one that in reversal can really be very controlling, and one that can be particularly abusive. I run a couple of different groups for people who have been abused or in narcissistic relationships. The Emperor specifically, I think, my opinion, is the card that denotes most generally a narcissist in reversal. So the Emperor, when he is dignified or in the upright position, is a man of great power, of great strength, a man who really doesn't have to flex his muscles because he's already the top dog. You know how you guys will talk shit to each other, but then when the boss comes in, everybody zips their lip and nobody would ever say anything to the boss. Even though the boss isn't walking around going, "Don't you talk shit about me, don't you talk shit about me." I'm sure some people's bosses are. If they are, I suggest that you quit. You don't need a tarot reading for that. If your boss is like that, get out. Anyway, he doesn't have to walk around going, don't. There's this known hierarchy. What this Emperor represents is that hierarchy and being at the top of that. So these are people who are in leadership. It represents leadership and direction, a powerful driving force, having authority, logical thinking. These kinds of things, these kinds of attributes, are attributed to the Emperor. When we see the Emperor, we really want to think about self-control in ourselves as well, that authority of self. So are you in check with yourself? The Emperor appearing can also sometimes mean that you're being a little forceful. Have you been a little too pushy? Are you trying to have too much control in the situation? If so, you'll probably see the Emperor ill-dignified or in the reverse. So let's talk about the reversal. A lot of people don't do reversals. They think that it's not necessarily beneficial to the querent, or that it's overly complicated, or that you can pick up the reversals whether they're reversed or not based upon the reading by using your intuition, so reversals aren't really necessary. I like to use reversals because that's how I learned tarot, that's how I was approached with tarot, and because I do intuitive tarot, my understanding of reversals is, I guess, not as well defined as other people's, but I think it's still pretty pertinent. Anyway, so I digress. I do reversals. You do you. The Emperor in reversal is a king who has been thrown out of his throne. He's been tossed out of his seat. You guys are playing musical chairs. You sat down in the last one, and he is fucking pissed. This guy this fellow here is a tyrant. Someone who's looking to undermine and do anything that they can to get their power back, which is why I think that this so deeply correlates with the traits of a narcissist. So for anybody who's watching, a narcissist, you may have heard the word come up. It's become a popular buzzword in the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 years, but we really saw some good literary work on it in the last 5, I would say. And there's a lot of disagreement about it, but again, another digression. Back to the emperor. For people who are narcissists, they have this over-bloated love of themselves. They will lie, cheat, steal, and do anything that they can to do what they want. And to do what they want, meaning anything that they want. So if they don't want to make food, if they do want to have sex, if they do want a human punching bag, all of those things, these narcissists will use their partners in relationships to get the things that they want. Some relationships are physically abusive, some relationships are sexually, emotionally, mentally, spiritually abusive, if you will. You know, there's definitely a loss of self with them. So that's what a narcissist does. Basically, total asshole. And generally, the kind of clingy total asshole that they're very hard to get rid of. They play with your mind. They're able to kind of get their tendrils and their tentacles in everywhere into their victims, and so they're particularly, like leeches, difficult to detach. Tenacity in being an asshole. Yep, this is the emperor. So this upturned lord is willing to do whatever it takes, and a narcissist is willing to do whatever it takes. They don't view lying oftentimes, most times, they don't view lying as lying. It's not about telling a truth, it's not about a truth at all. That idea about, is this, you're telling a lie, you're not telling the truth, this honesty bit doesn't even occur to them. The purpose of the lie is simply to feed the machine what you have to in order to get it to do what you want it to do. So it's the idea of giving it quarters. So I want the pinball machine to release a ball to me so that I can send it zooming up the lane. In order for me to do that, I can press a button all I want to, I can pull on the lever all I want to, and it's not going to do anything until I insert a quarter. Well, the narcissist understands that the truth is not the size of your quarter slot. It's because, you know, they know that you're going to be really mad if you tell them, no, I was sleeping with your sister last night. They know that you're going to be really mad if you tell them the truth that, no, the money that you gave me for rent, I actually gambled or spent on hookers. You know, they know that. They know that you don't like those things, which is why they hide them, because if they didn't know it, they wouldn't have a reason to hide it. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know, if you have true blind ignorance, you do the thing and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that you didn't like that, right? Total normal behavior. So hiding it means that they know. So for a narcissist, telling you the truth about the situation, they know is not going to make you do the things that they want you to do. And they don't care about having a relationship with you. They don't care about the trust and fidelity and those warm, fuzzy feelings that we like to have, the connections of deep, intimate relationships. They don't experience relationships in that way. They don't view people in that way. People are tools of use. You are a tool of use when you are in a narcissistic relationship. So they will do anything that they can by whatever means necessary and feel no shame about it at all, because to them, they're not doing anything wrong. It's, you have to have the right size token, you have to have a quarter, you have to have whatever it may be. to get this machine to work. And unfortunately, for those of us who have been hoovered in and stuck into narcissistic relationships, that is all too real of an occurrence. So, the Emperor. The Emperor knows he's a king. He has a birthright. He's this person who believes that he is entitled to all of the things around him. The king is a man who takes everything from the people around him. He feels no guilt. He feels no shame because these are the things that are his. Everything is his. These people should be glad that they get to be around him. They should be glad that they get to eat of his fields. They should be glad that they get to fucking suck his dick. You know what I mean? That is so typical of a narcissist. And that is why I believe that the Emperor Reversed and the Narcissist are one and the same. See ya.